A major update to DVLA procedures coming into force for 2025 is already generating widespread concern among motorists, with experts warning that the very rule designed to help drivers could unintentionally place thousands at risk of fines reaching up to £1,000. The rule change, introduced in August, was initially celebrated as a win for classic car owners, modification enthusiasts, and drivers converting older models to electric power. It allows vehicles that have been restored, heavily modified, or transitioned to electric drivetrains to keep their original registration plates, an update that the automotive community had been pushing for over many years. But even though the new policy seemed simple and beneficial on the surface, specialists are now pointing out that it has opened the door to significant administrative complications, creating what some describe as a paperwork nightmare that may easily catch out even the most responsible car owners. Among those sounding the alarm is Chris Coops, a respected number plate expert at Mr. Plates, who says the DVLA's update has created a bottleneck in the system and significantly increased the time it takes for updated V5C logbooks to arrive. According to Coops, the problem isn't the rule itself, but the potential delays in updating essential vehicle details, particularly when major mechanical changes are made, such as engine swaps or switching from petrol to electric. He warns that if drivers fail to ensure their V5C reflects the correct information after making these updates, they could unknowingly be driving with incorrect registration data, which can legally result in fines of up to £1,000 if detected by police or ANPR cameras. Coops explained that while the intention behind the policy is positive, it brings new responsibilities that many drivers might overlook. He says it is fantastic that the DVLA now allows classic and EV converted cars to keep their historic plates, preserving the character and identity of vehicles that might otherwise be assigned a modern registration. But he stresses that from this point on, owners must act immediately whenever they make structural or mechanical modifications. This includes changes to the engine type, updates to the chassis, alterations to the body color, or completion of an electric conversion. All of these must be formally reported so the V5C logbook can be updated accurately. If not, the system may see a mismatch, a car listed as petrol even though it is now electric, or a body color that doesn't match what is recorded, potentially flagging the vehicle as suspicious. To show how serious this issue can be, Coops explains that a number plate is essentially the vehicle's identity card. Every time a car passes through an ANPR camera or is inspected during a routine stop, its registration is checked instantly against the DVLA database. If the system reveals discrepancies, no matter how small, the vehicle may be flagged, leading to penalties or enforcement action. Coops stresses that these fines can apply even when the owner has done nothing intentionally wrong. Something as simple as fitting a new plate after a conversion but forgetting to submit the V5C form immediately could be enough to trigger a violation. As a result, he is urging owners to double-check their documentation and act quickly. Those who have already applied for V5C updates should keep photographic evidence and dated proof of submission until their new logbook arrives, as this can help defend against penalties caused by DVLA delays instead of driver negligence. In response to concerns, a DVLA spokesperson defended the purpose of the 2025 rule change, stating that the update was created to make registration more accessible for enthusiasts restoring or modifying older vehicles. They emphasized that electric converted cars can now keep their original identity, helping preserve automotive heritage while supporting greener technology. However, they also stated clearly that the responsibility to report changes remains with the vehicle's registered keeper. Beyond the immediate administrative concerns, many industry analysts believe the DVLA's 2025 rule change highlights a larger issue within the UK's registration system, one that may become even more significant as more drivers restore classic models or choose electric conversions. Over the past decade, interest in classic car preservation has surged, with younger enthusiasts seeking to maintain the charm of older models rather than purchasing new cars. At the same time, electric conversion companies are reporting rapid growth as drivers modernize their beloved classics while maintaining their iconic styling. This trend places heavier demands on the DVLA, which experts fear the agency is not fully prepared to handle. Coops explains that the delays are more than an inconvenience. They can disrupt project timelines and leave owners uncertain about whether their vehicles are legally compliant. Some restoration shops even refuse to release a car until the updated V5C arrives, preventing customers from driving their own vehicles despite work being completed. This can leave motorists waiting weeks longer than expected, often forcing them to find alternative transport in the meantime. Another issue highlighted by experts is the increasing reliance on automated enforcement systems like ANPR cameras. These systems are efficient, but they leave no room for human judgment. If a database entry is wrong, the system automatically flags the vehicle, potentially leading to stops, fines, or letters demanding payment, all because of paperwork stuck in DVLA processing. Some motoring groups are calling on the DVLA to implement a temporary verification option for drivers awaiting updated documents, perhaps a digital receipt or reference code that enforcement officers and automated systems can recognize. Without such measures, they argue, thousands of law-abiding motorists could face avoidable penalties due to system delays rather than actual violations. Consumer rights advocates are becoming increasingly vocal about the need for clearer communication from the DVLA. Many argue that while the agency has highlighted the benefits of the 2025 rule change, it has not done enough to explain the risks associated with incomplete documentation. Most drivers don't fully understand how much information is tied to their number plate and how a single incorrect detail can trigger enforcement action. A driver converting a petrol Mini to electric might think the only step is upgrading the drivetrain, but if they fail to update the V5C, automated systems will still identify the vehicle as petrol-powered, causing potential complications during routine checks. Motoring experts are also warning about implications for insurance coverage. Insurers rely on accurate DVLA records, and any mismatch between recorded details and the actual vehicle can result in disputed claims or policy cancellations. A driver could find themselves fully at fault for an accident simply because their logbook wasn't updated in time. Garages performing conversions argue for a streamlined system that allows authorized workshops to send modification details straight to the DVLA. They say this would reduce errors and speed up processing significantly. Meanwhile, legal advisors are encouraging drivers to keep personal logs of every modification, including photos, receipts, and workshop invoices, which could serve as crucial evidence if disputes ever arise. As the conversation continues, one message remains clear: in an age where enforcement is increasingly digital and automated, vehicle identity accuracy matters more than ever. Whether you own a rare vintage classic, a custom-modified build, or a modern electric conversion, staying on top of DVLA paperwork is essential for avoiding unnecessary fines and complications. Looking ahead, some motoring organizations believe this 2025 rule change may prompt deeper reforms within the DVLA. They suggest the agency will eventually need to modernize its processing systems to support the rapid growth of modified and electrified vehicles entering the market. With more drivers experimenting with custom builds and electric conversions, the traditional paper-based V5C process may simply become too slow and outdated. Several industry voices are calling for a fully digital, real-time update system that lets owners submit changes instantly and track progress through an online portal. This would not only reduce delays but also lower the risk of fines caused by outdated information. For now, however, the responsibility lies squarely with vehicle owners to stay organized, stay informed, and make sure every modification is properly logged. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more updates.